throughout my career, I think this is probably the most serious time I've taken it in terms of like my food, my sleep. I'm not really there to like go out for coffees and talk about bull. I'm there to fucking work and put my head down and get ready for a fight. Sorry about my language as well, but yeah.
Hey, what's going on, Ringsiders? This is your host, Boxing's Objective Observer, and welcome back to Ringside Stories. Feel free to like and share. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell if you enjoy the content. Anthony Joshua returns to the ring on April 1st, 2023 in London, UK against Michigan's own Jermaine Franklin.
Now, this is a very important moment in his career. This is the big push now to become a three-time world heavyweight champion. I think he's still top 3 heavyweight in the world, but he's got to prove it, and he'll be back April 1st.
If I'm going to fight for the championship belt, you better fucking buckle up. This is the rough and tough. This is heavyweight boxing.
What will we see differently from you compared to the Whyte fight, which, as you said, was a really good performance, but didn't get the decision? How are you going to make sure you win this time?
By putting AJ ass to sleep. If I don't get the knockout, I'm not going to be hurt that I don't get it, but at least dominate the whole fight. Domination is my main focus this time.
Here are some early thoughts. Number 1, crossroads fight.
A lot of fighters that train today, they're actually training for like the world title fight 10 fights down the line. So they try and set a standard. So that's what we're doing. We take the approach where it's like, this is our standard and we feel that this is going to get us here. So title or no title, we maintain at a championship level and we try to push on.
Anthony Joshua remains one of the biggest draws in boxing. All the eyes of the world will be on the O2 Arena on April 1st to see what he has left. And I think people are going to be very surprised.
Joshua versus Franklin is a crossroads fight. AJ is 0-2 in his last 2 fights, although Anthony Joshua suffered his back-to-back defeats at the hands of a generational talent, Oleksandr Usyk. In terms of appeal, this is a step down since Jermaine Franklin is fairly unknown to the boxing audience, and that's no disrespect to Franklin. Compared to Joshua's last 10 opponents, Franklin simply isn't as accomplished or dangerous in terms of punching power and stature compared to AJ's previous opponents. However, a loss against Franklin would mean bad business for Watford's own Anthony Joshua. And Anthony Joshua can use a win since his first loss at the hands of Andy Ruiz Jr. in 2019 cost the Brit psychological damage, which AJ seemingly has not fully recovered from yet.
Wow! Anthony Joshua in an unbelievable round here! The count's at 7! Joshua is open! His legs are shaky, Adam.
This is going to be a lot of pressure on Anthony Joshua going into this fight. It's people that are going to be criticising, people that are going to say he's not the same fighter, people saying he's gun shy, people saying he's mentally weak. Like, this is just what you have to put up with at top level sport. Anthony Joshua remains one of the biggest draws in boxing. All the eyes of the world will be on the O2 Arena on April 1st to see what he has left.
For Jermaine Franklin, the fight against Anthony Joshua is a step up, although as most objective boxing fans have seen Franklin put up a more than decent performance against the body snatcher Dillian Whyte at the end of 2022.
AJ is a great fighter. You know, he got the resume to back it. He has achieved a lot in the sport, some stuff that people never achieve. So, I'm not taking nothing from him. But, I'm a super competitor. I don't want to lose jacks. I don't care what I'm playing. Like, it's Monopoly, anything. I hate to lose. So I put that into my boxing. So, I don't think nobody can take it. So I'm just going to try to impose my will and dominate.
Number 2, last fights. Anthony Joshua is coming off a second consecutive loss at the hands of the undefeated unified heavyweight champion of the world, Oleksandr Usyk. Staged in Jeddah, Saudi Arabia in August of 2022, Usyk versus Joshua 2 was a tactical fight for most part that had some exciting moments with both Usyk and Joshua showing vulnerabilities. Yet saw Anthony Joshua eventually take the short end of the stick. Visibly frustrated by the result, Anthony Joshua let the whole world know what was on his mind after the fight.
I'm still in this, Usyk, sorry. But it's because the passion we put into this. Oh, yeah, you don't throw combinations like Rocky Marciano. Because I ain't 14 stone, that's why. I'm 18 stone, I'm heavy.
Jermaine Franklin just came off a majority decision loss against Dillian the Body Snatcher Whyte, a fight that was closer than many had anticipated prior to the fight. And against Jermaine Franklin, Whyte didn't look particularly convincing.
Yeah, I was honestly great the whole fight. Under my honest opinion, I thought I had a 7-5. I thought my hand was going to get raised at the end of that. So it was a little surprising not to hear my name called, but it's boxing.
Franklin, although not known as an extremely big puncher, showed a good boxing brain, good ring IQ, toughness, and a more than decent chin. Many boxing fans, including British boxing fans, would have expected the rematch between Anthony Joshua and Dillian Whyte. However, eventually, Team Joshua opted to choose the man who was dealt his first loss against Dillian Whyte, that being Jermaine Franklin. Number 3, skill set. So what does Jermaine Franklin actually do inside of the ring? Well, for starters, Jermaine Franklin stands at 6'2" tall. In his last fight against Dillian Whyte, Franklin came in at 257 pounds. So Franklin isn't the tallest of the bunch, however, he's a fairly big heavyweight, even for today's standards. When it comes to his skill set, Jermaine Franklin normally likes to operate behind a quick, snappy jab. Franklin can throw fast combinations. He does like to counterpunch at times. So Franklin has decent hand speed, decent punching power, and as the Whyte fight shows, Jermaine Franklin is tough with a good chin. And so for most part, Jermaine Franklin likes to box, likes to move, however he can switch it up and fight if absolutely needed, which on top of the previous mentioned skill set may give Anthony Joshua some issues.
You know, he does have a style that notoriously a big sort of stand-up heavyweight finds difficult with that shorter frame, quick hands and good movement.
I do certain stuff just to see how the mind reacts, how he moves, how he thinks about certain stuff. And some of it doesn't even have to be big. Like, I don't even have to hit you to make you think or move a certain way. I could just do stuff and it'll mess with your reactions or your counter reactions. So really just play chess until it's time to go to war.
Now we know naturally Anthony Joshua likes to stay at mid-range. He can let his hands go with deadly uppercuts, powerful hooks, but as his latest fights have shown, AJ is able to fight from distance using a jab, movement, and fairly good boxing skills. However, as the two Usyk fights have proven, Joshua has difficulties with good movers who can box and who can utilize their hand speed to trouble AJ both to the head and to the body. Then there's the issue of going 12 rounds, i.e. his stamina, and on top of that, Anthony Joshua is coming off of 2 losses, and it's been a while since AJ has won in dominant fashion. Can AJ regain himself to his winning ways, specifically by way of stoppage, or with a dominant performance against Jermaine Franklin? Number 4, AJ's new trainer. After hiring renowned trainer Robert Garcia for the Usyk rematch, AJ assigned a new boxing trainer in Derek James.
You have to constantly keep growing as a trainer and as a fighter. And in a relationship, you want to be able to grow together because sometimes people grow
A
apart.
respectable trainer, the 51-year-old Derek James has led Errol Spence Jr. to becoming a 3-belt unified world champion in the 147-pound division. James also led Jermell Charlo to becoming the first undisputed world champion, a division north at light middleweight. Also, Ring Magazine voted Derek James Trainer of the Year 2017. But just like AJ's previous trainer Robert Garcia, Derek James has little to no experience training heavyweights, much less world-class heavyweights. So since this will be the first time Joshua pairs up with Derek James, it will be interesting to see how the two will be able to work together. Question to you, Ringsiders, do you think Derek James is a good fit for Anthony Joshua right now? Let us know in the comments below.
I don't care how much experience you've got, you fight with your heart. That can overcome. Do you know what I mean? And that's how I managed to do it, from being an amateur for 3 years. But in them 3 years, I managed to take myself from my local boxing gym where we used to go out every weekend and get pissed to competing at the Olympics 3 years later, because it was all from here. And then 3 years later as a professional, turning pro to fight for the championship. It's just, I don't really mind like what comes with this, good and bad. It's just fighting.
Anthony Joshua has always come across as a fighter who likes to learn from many different trainers, as he calls himself a free spirit. Question is, will Derek James be the trainer that can teach Joshua the things he needs to learn in order to get back to his winning ways? And if successful, will the Derek James-Anthony Joshua pairing be a long-term thing for the former 2-time unified heavyweight world champion? Number 5, Anthony Joshua's 2023. If Anthony Joshua does return to his winning ways, beating Jermaine Franklin on April 1st, 2023, there are many fights looming for the former unified heavyweight champion of the world. The cross-Atlantic rivalry with former WBC kingpin Deontay Wilder, and the domestic blockbuster against the Gypsy King Tyson Fury, which has always been a fight the UK boxing fans especially would welcome. That is all future talk. Anthony Joshua has to work with Derek James in order to get past Jermaine Franklin on April 1st. Can Jermaine Franklin show what he's really about when he steps up against Anthony Joshua and cause an upset on April 1st, 2023 against one of Britain's most successful boxers in the last 10 years? What do you make of this fight, Joshua versus Franklin, for April 1st, 2023? What do you make of Jermaine Franklin and his skill set? Can the American score an upset? If not, If Joshua gets past Franklin, what do you think is next for AJ in 2023? Let us know in the comments below. If you like more content like this and you haven't already, don't forget to subscribe, give a thumbs up, and hit that notification bell. It helps out the channel a lot, so as always, thanks so much for your support. If you've done that already, you're amazing. We already know that you are the true undisputed world champion. Till next time, Ringsiders, this is your host, Boxing's Objective Observer with Ringside Stories. Thanks for watching and have a legendary day.